Thank you. With that, I'd like to yield to talk about how this budget seeks to expand the opportunity for all Americans to the gentleman from California, Mr. McClintock.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This budget reflects a great struggle between American families and their government over whether they or the government can best spend the money that they have earned. It's that simple. This budget bends that struggle slowly back in favor of those families by returning to them the freedom to spend more of their own money and make more of their own decisions again. You know, every $1 billion that's spent in Washington means about $9 that's taken from an average family, either in direct taxes or in tax-driven price increases as businesses pass along their costs to consumers. It's about time we started thinking of these numbers in family-sized terms, because ultimately these numbers have a very real impact on those families who are struggling to balance their own budgets, set their own priorities, and look after their own needs. Ultimately, what government spends is what it taxes, either now or in the future. Today, we pass on more than a third of the cost to our children and finance the remainder through a tax system in which politicians pick winners and losers through an appallingly unfair and distorted tax code. This budget calls for doing away with those tax distortions that reward some and punish others, distortions that shift capital away from economic expansion and into the service of political objectives. And this budget calls for flattening and lowering tax rates to assure that no American family pays more than a quarter of its earnings to the federal government. Those nations that have adopted similar reforms have been rewarded with explosive economic growth. That means fairness for every American family and an economy unshackled from the burdens of political favoritism of our current system. In short, Mr. Chairman, freedom works. It's time that we put it and America back to work. This budget does that.